to my motto, nothing's ever holding back.
Welcome back to the Lone Road iRacing podcast. I'm your host, Guy Robertson. And today I thought we'd dive into one of the most controversial, chaotic, beloved and feared moments in the iRacing calendar, the infamous Week 13. Now, when this podcast goes out, we'll be partially through Week 13, but it doesn't mean we can't listen and understand it in a bit more detail. For some, Week 13 is a little bit like Christmas morning. For others, it's a psychological endurance test, and for many, it's a bit of both. This episode is about the pros and cons of Week 13, the exciting new toys and features arriving with a new season build, and why Week 13 is dangerous for your safety rating and iRating, despite the lack of official points in most series. How promotions and demotions really work during this unique week. So whether you love Week 13 or dread its arrival, this episode will prepare you for what's coming, or what you have started, and help you come out the other side a little better, calmer, and hopefully still a highly rated iRacer. So let's get into it. Week 13 is the 1 week gap between seasons in iRacing. There are 4 Week 13s every year, and each comes with a handful of quirks. The new season build launches bring in excitement, new cars, tracks, fixes, physics updates, UI changes, graphics improvements, and sometimes even surprise content. A set of Week 13 fun series replaces most of the normal official iRacing sessions. Some series have no safety rating impact, some series don't have no iRating impact, and some have neither. It's a transitional period where iRacers get to experiment and blow off a little steam, while iRacing upstate the service behind the scenes. But it also is a breeding ground for chaos. The result: sometimes the cleanest racers become demolition derby survivors, and the worst behave like they'd be released from sim racing jail. Week 13 isn't all danger and SR destruction though. There is a lot of good here as well. We can try new cars, sometimes for free. Every new car released during a build is usually included at least on one of the free Week 13 series. So you can sometimes test without buying, learn its characteristics, decide if it's right for you or your league. This alone makes Week 13 a must-play week for many sim racers. With no SR or iRating at stake in some of the series, you can also attempt crazy overtakes, try standing starts with cars you never dare use, practice side-by-side racecraft, explore limit driving without fear of losing iRating, and join split after split without caring about the outcome. This is the one time where experimentation isn't punished. Many drivers do the same combos week in and week out, and Week 13 forces you to actually try something different, to try tracks they normally avoid, cars they have never touched, and combos at times that are surprisingly fun. Some of the most popular future official series are born because people love the car during Week 13. And the community energy is also at an all-time high. Everybody logs in, everybody wants to try the new content. Lobbies are full, split counts rise, streamers get wild, and discords light up. It's sim racing's storm before the storm, and Week 13 feels alive, And that's special here on iRacing. So we're going to have a short break and we're going to talk about the cons of week 13. Now we're going to talk about the darker side of week 13. Usually carnage levels are off the charts. With SR and IR don't matter in a specific series, everything gets worse, let's be honest. Turn 1 becomes a battlefield. People attempt moves they would never normally do. Some treat it like Wreckfest on purpose. Rage quits skyrocket. The lack of consequence affects behaviour dramatically. If you want meaningful practice for the upcoming season, week 13 is one of the worst environments because drivers are inconsistent, racecraft is unpredictable, very few people race properly, and clean laps are hard to string together. So trying to use week 13 as focus prep often leads to frustration. SR and IR, don't forget, are not actually disabled everywhere. And there's a misunderstanding that is quite common. So check your series on the schedule. Make sure if it says it will affect SR or IR, you really look for that icon. Because some series, as we've said, still apply SR and IR or vice versa. Usually they're proper renamed series or those acting as placeholders, so as I've said, make sure you double check. Drivers often assume everything is safe, jump in blind and end up getting SR, which equals demotion. SR, sometimes promoted even unintentionally. Your iRating gets hammered or iRating's inflated by gaining easy points in weird splits. Now, week 13 can also be a psychological burnout week. Carnage takes its toll, especially mentally. Some sim racers get generally worn down by it all. They're constantly being wrecked, there's poor behaviour from other drivers, there's inconsistent driving, and clearly there's no sense of progression. So week 13 is supposed to be fun, right? Yet many people come out of it mentally drained. So how do you keep a positive perspective? You've got to focus on the exciting new toys. Every week and day at times, week 13 brings new content. And here are some typical categories. There's clearly some new cars coming, definitely the new Porsche and the mini dirt car as well. It was like fun. So you've got to focus on the new cars. Maybe there's some new GT3s or prototypes. There's updated NASCAR content usually. There's some new single-seaters, regional touring cars maybe we've had in the past, series grassroots racer, and occasionally even a historic or retro content. New cars are always placed into week 13 series so everybody can try them. And then there is the new tracks, of course. New street circuits, new ovals, new road courses, new short tracks, and the rescans or remastered circuits. Again, these show up in crazy week 13 combos, so look out for them. And what about the physics overalls? Often hidden within the patch notes, like new tyre models, aero changes, weather system tweaks, suspension revisions, brake temperature modelling updates, track surface or heat map improvements, and damaged model refinements. These changes can transform a car overnight. So week 13 races are often the first testbed for all these updates. But don't forget about the UI and the graphics upgrades as well, We know iRacing's UI is still not perfect yet, and there's a long way to go. And we also know they're working heavily behind the scenes on the updated graphics. So we could see new 3D models, updated particle effects, new HDR or shadowing settings, better replays, race control tweaks, and session UI improvements. You'll be exploring menus and experimenting all next week. Now, there's also dynamic track and weather features. We know big launch a couple of seasons ago now was the weather system here on iRacing, but they are still tweaking it, they are still tuning it, especially after lots of complaints in the endurance and special events in 2025. So they're further going to improve rain. They're already working on the new debris physics and it already looks good. Updated dirt behavior, new visibility mechanics, new audible mechanics, and new off-track surface interactions. So week 13 is the sandbox where these systems get real-world testing across thousands of us, the iRacers, and we're quite encouraged to give feedback when it's due. We're going to be back in a second then, and we're going to talk about the danger zone of week 13. Now, let's get into the most misunderstood part of week 13. No SR and no iRating at times. Great. Except this is not always true. Many week 13 series still count for SR and IR. They are usually Road Legends, late model series, some Formula series, proper series that count through week 13 as some of the seasons carry on, some rookie-based series used to seed new drivers. So drivers jump in thinking it's safe, then suddenly they're at 1.2 SR and no season left to recover. Some week 13 series still count for iRating as well. Mainly these series are marked as official, any with proper license restrictions, some that act as placeholders for testing series. This is where sneaky drivers try to farm low splits, and this is when unexpected rookies lose 300 IR in a day. And don't forget, promotions can still happen in week 13. If you finish the season above your license threshold, you can still be promoted even during week 13. So that's usually up above 4 as long as you've done your minimum number of races. This creates some interesting outcomes for us all. Drivers who were barely above the line suddenly get promoted without meaning to. I'm sure they're celebrating. Others try to grind SR and fail due to week 13 chaos, and they're demoted. Some accidentally get demoted because they joined a series they did or they didn't think counted for SR. The rules remain in place for us all. The environment, though, becomes unpredictable. And don't forget, demotions can also happen too. If you fall below the minimum SR for your license, i.e. 1, during week 13, you can be demoted. And many drivers are shocked by this each season. They assume week 13 is a safe zone, and as we've discussed, it clearly isn't. When rain is active for the first time on a new car in week 13, or a series during week 13, many drivers are unprepared. People use wrong setups, visibility becomes a huge factor, racecraft suffers, and SR tanks. New features plus new drivers plus no consequences equals carnage. So the word here is be cautious, racers. Don't just jump in a series, check to see if it affects SR or IR or both. So how do we use week 13 safely and productively? If you want to come out of week 13 in good shape, these are some steps I put together that just may help you. Protect your ratings for a start. Before racing, check whether the series affects SR or IR. Avoid unknown car or track combos. They might look like fun, but behind the scenes there's a big skull and crossbone. Stick to cars you can control. Avoid first laps with unpredictable drivers. If you're in an A class and you're an A class driver and you've got lots of maybe C and D class drivers, they're going to be more unpredictable than who you're usually racing with. So that's the kind of people you've got to leave space and let them go lap 1. We all know more than likely they won't make lap 2. Use week 13 for exploration. Try cars you've never purchased, tracks you really drive, new sim features. Have a go at actually driving in the rain if you're not a big rain driver. Try multi-class races you normally avoid. See if you can learn how to let the faster cars mid-corner get by you safely. Dirt or oval if you're a road, if road is your main thing. Go and have some fun on them, you just might like them. And vice versa, try road if you're just an oval driver. This is your no pressure environment. And don't forget, week 13 you can practice key skills. Where are your weaknesses that you've learned and documented through the last season? Is it race starts? Is it side-by-side driving? Is it trail braking? Car control in the wet? Learning to overtake and defend cleanly? Or understanding new physics changes? These skills, if you can learn them in this week, will definitely benefit you in the seasons to come. And another thing that is on iRacing that sometimes gets overlooked, especially in week 13, is time trials. Here the area is calm, the area is clean. It lets you practice safely. It can be done with new content and it raises SR without risk. It's the best week 13 tool that actually hardly anybody uses. And what about joining hosted sessions? As we've said, the forums and the service is alive with new drivers coming to look at the new content and current drivers with new content. So the hosted sessions are up and running. You need to learn though, because you still need to avoid the carnage. You can even run your own practice session, bring friends along. Hosted sessions actually give you a total control of what you want to do. Well, final thoughts, viewers and listeners. Week 13 is one of the most exciting moments on iRacing through the whole of the year. As we've said, we only get 4 of them for every 12 months. So it's a week of testing the new toys, new features. Sometimes there's no pressure rating, so look out for things. Experiment and discover new favourites. And don't forget to return to the joy of racing without consequences. But it's also a week of chaos, unpredictability, hidden SR and IR traps, demotions, promotions, and a lot of smashed virtual bodywork. Used correctly, week 13 can be a powerful and enjoyable reset button. Used recklessly though, and it can ruin your license and your mental game. So treat week 13 like a casino. Go in to have fun, not to bet your future on one wild spin. Well, thanks for listening again and watching the Lone Road iRacing podcast with me through the whole of the season we have just completed. This week's episode was all about making sure you're ready mentally, strategically and technically for the madness of week 13. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on YouTube or leave a review wherever you get your podcasts from. Share it with your fellow iRacers and follow the podcast for more weekly deep dives into the world of iRacing. Until next time, in a brand new season, stay safe, stay fast, and I'll see you on the track soon. Happy iRacing!
Whatever it takes, we're racing, we're in the zone. Whatever it takes, we push hard, never alone. I'm in the cockpit, the engines roar, hear me now. We're racing circles, got a hustle, made a vow. Chasing victory, it's all or nothing on the track. Sweet is my motto, nothing's ever holding back. Whatever it takes.